Hello folks, welcome to this series of AWS services, and today we are going to talk about CloudFormation. So what exactly is the CloudFormation? CloudFormation is a management tool provided by AWS which is doing what its name suggests. It forms the cloud. So this is an automated way of creating cloud resources. In one of the sessions of this series, we have talked about various mechanisms to access AWS resources. So the way we have been learning, mostly we have been using management console, but other than this, we have command line interface, we have various software development kits for various languages, which are chiefly used by developers, and then we have CloudFormation. So by using CloudFormation, you can create multiple resources, you can configure them, you can provision them, and later on you can modify those resources just by uploading some code. And when I say code, it doesn't mean a programming language. It's basically written in JSON syntaxes. So in CloudFormation, you can write a JSON document where you can write what are the various resources that you want to create, what is the interrelationship between those resources. You can define various parameters, various configurations, all of it in a JSON syntax. Once you have prepared this document, you can just use CloudFormation tool and upload this document, which is called template. So you upload this template and all the resources which are mentioned in your template will be created by AWS. This set of AWS resources that gets created is also called stack. So when you go to CloudFormation dashboard, you'll find multiple such words. So one of them is template. Template is nothing but a JSON document. I'll show you going ahead in the session. Then you've got something called stack. Stack only means all the resources that you are creating through that template. So it's basically a stack of resources, which means the resources and their interrelationship with each other. And then you've got something called stack set. Stack set is a group of stacks that you create using one single template file. So what does it really mean? What is the benefit I'm going to get if I'm using CloudFormation? So first of all, CloudFormation is the manifestation of DevOps principle, which is infrastructure as code. So suppose you've got a job to create the whole 3-tier web architecture. As we have discussed in one of the videos, that if you have to host a web application, what are all the resources which you create? So basically in that you will be creating EC2 instances, you will be creating security group, load balancer, auto scaling group, Route 53, the whole VPC. So to create, say, 3-tier web application, you need to create a lot of resources, and these resources have to be properly interrelated with it. So one basic approach is to create those resources independently by using either your management console or your command line tool. But a better way would be to create the whole thing, to bring up the whole architecture by using CloudFormation tool. So the same configuration, etc., that you give while creating a resource, whether it's EC2 or say load balancer, the same configuration you can provide in form of a JSON syntax, what we call templates. And in just one template file, you can write the configuration of all the resources that you are creating, Route 53, load balancer, EC2, security group, etc., and just upload it using CloudFormation template. And CloudFormation will make sure that all the resources are created in a particular order. If there is some failure, it will roll back, and if it is successful, you will be properly notified. So basically using this approach of creating resources, you can version control your infrastructure because now it is in form of a template, a text file. So you can version control this text file. You can get it reviewed by your peers. You can modify it so that you don't have to reinvent the whole wheel. You can reuse it, and you can add multiple template files to create a single big stack of resources. So let's go to our dashboard and see how does it look like. So when you go to your services, under the management tool, you'll find this CloudFormation. If you go to the dashboard, it will ask you first do you want to design a template? Template means the configuration of resources and group of resources that needs to be created in a JSON document. So in fact, let's look at a template. You can download a lot of templates by AWS's official documentation page. So I'll show you a very simple template where we are just using, I'm going to show you a very simple template where we are just creating 2 resources, one EC2 instance and one security group. So basically the AWS template has some chief components. One of them is template format version. Of course, you don't have to change it. And there is a description where basically you describe this particular template. So you can just describe your template under description field. Description where you can describe about the template, what all the resources it is going to create, and something so that the user knows what it is all about. Then you have got parameters. Parameters are basically dynamic configuration. The configuration that you want users to select rather than putting the value of those configurations in this template, you want that it should be selected at the runtime when you upload the template. Here, since every account may have a different key name or they might choose the instance type dynamically, so we are putting all these things under the parameter section. So we are using key name, instance type, SSH location as a part of our parameter. Now, one of the most important part of the template is the resources. So this basically gives you the list of resources that you want to create. Now, in our case, in this template, we have got EC2 instance and a security group. These are the two resources that we are going to create using this template. So this is a syntax that you have to be familiar with. Under EC2 instance, you have to tell what kind of resource it is, which has got a proper format. Then you have to define the properties of these resources. This is where you give all the configurations needed for that AWS resource. So here, instance type, it is referring to the parameters, which is defined already in the parameter section. In the security group, again, it is referring to the resource that will be created here. Then you've got key name, which is again a dynamic configuration. And the image ID, which is basically AMI ID, that we are hard coding here. So this is going to launch this EC2 instance with this AMI ID using this key name, which will be coming from the account with security group, which is going to be created here, and the instance type, which is selected dynamically by using parameters. Similarly, in the instance security group, you can give group description. Here, basically, we are telling it the inbound rules. And while defining the inbound rules, which is called security group ingress here, we are referring to the SSH location, which is again a dynamic parameter. Then once we create this stack, what all are the information that I will need on my dashboard? That part comes under the output section. So after creating this stack, I want to see the instance ID. I want to see the availability zone in which it gets created. I want to know the public DNS name and the public IP. So this is a very simple template. To revise it once again, you would have to give format version, description, parameters, resources, and the outputs. So don't worry if you don't know how to create this template. CloudFormation also provides you a way to write the templates. We'll come to that in a while. And also AWS provides you a lot of ready-made templates that you can use, or you can copy and paste from those templates and modify according to your need. So now if I have to create that stack with EC2 instance and one security group, I need to upload the template. So I'll call it create new stack. And CloudFormation provides you various, as I said, ready-made templates. So you can select a sample template. All these templates are freely available. For example, if you want to create a LAMP website, then you can just select it. And if you want to see the template in written form, you can just download here. So either I can upload my own template or I can use the already existing templates created by AWS itself. So once I upload my template, I can give it a name, my demo LAMP stack. And then as we have given 3 parameters, which can be given dynamically. So here we can see instance type, key name, and SSH location. All these 3 in our template, we have defined them as a parameter: key name, instance type, and SSH location. In the instance type, we gave t2.micro as default. Then the key name, whatever exists in my account, will be visible here. And then the SSH location, which I've given this to be default SSH location. This would be used while creating the security group. Next. Now it won't ask me that what are resources you are going to create, because of course those things have already been written in the template. It will just ask me some extra information like, do you want to specify some tag, etc. So you can write here name, and I can write here demo CFN, demo CloudFormation. Now, since we are going to give access to CloudFormation to create all those resources, so we have to choose a role. But basically, I have not created the role, so I'm going to let this create a role for itself. So you can specify rollback trigger, which would mean that after how much time, if the resources are not created successfully, you want it to roll back. So that time you can give here. So maybe I can give something like, say, 5 minutes. Keeping everything as default, I can go ahead to next, and I can go ahead for creating it. Now you see one of the stack is getting created, which is my demo lamp stack. Though it is not really a lamp stack I'm creating, I'm just creating one EC2 instance along with the security group. So this will take some time to actually create all the resources. What is it creating? The security group and the EC2 instance. Here under the event section, you will see step by step how it got created. So if you just refresh it, here you go. So you can read it from bottoms up. And you can see that here user initiated my demo lamp stack. Then the resource creation initiated for the security group. So CloudFormation understands that in which order you want to create the resources. So since EC2 instance would be using the security group, so it first creates the security group and then EC2 instance. So the order in which resources should be created, even that is taken care of by CloudFormation. Though you can also specify that. Now you see it has created two types of resources. One security group and then the EC2 instance. If we just refresh it, the creation of EC2 instance and security group has completed, but the whole stack has not yet been created. So it is still taking some time to complete the stack formation. So by the time it gets created, let's go and see the overview. Now here we can see the stack name which we provided. The status of it is in progress. The description is coming from the template file that we created. And then you see output section. Right now, no output has been found because that will be visible once all the resources gets created. The resources are listed down here. The template you can see from here as well. This is the same template that we uploaded. Parameters, the dynamic configurations are listed down here. Tags that we gave here. Stack policy, we have not provided any stack policy. We've also not created anything like change set. And the rollback trigger, we have not yet provided. So now since my EC2 instance has been created, if you go to your EC2 dashboard, you should be able to see extra instance created by CloudFormation. So here you see this demo CFN instance has been created by the CloudFormation. And you can see that in the details section of this EC2 instance that it is using a security group, which is again created by the CloudFormation. Now if you see on our CloudFormation dashboard, the stack has been created completely. And in the output section, now we are able to see what we have provided in our template. So in the template, the last section, we asked CloudFormation to give us the output as instance ID, availability zone, public DNS, and public IP. And we can see here that instance ID, public IP, availability zone, and public DNS are provided. The values are what got generated after creating those resources using CloudFormation. And description is coming again from the template. So by using CloudFormation, you can see that you can create multiple resources at the same time. You need to know just how to give the configuration, etc. There are various resources in the AWS documentation which are provided to write your own template. And a lot of templates are already there as part of CloudFormation itself. If not, you can use this design template. This gives you a visual editor where you can simply drag and drop various components and create your architecture. So for example, here, if I need to create the same thing, I will use this EC2 instance, just drag and drop here, and it will generate a corresponding template file here. You can see this template. As soon as you drag and drop resources in this design editor, it will keep on creating your template file, which you can later on launch. So in EC2, you also have security group. So you can just drag and drop here. So various dots which you can see here are connection points. So for example, here this one belongs to a security group. So you can just attach them. What it really means is now that this security group would be applied on this EC2 instance. And as I said, the corresponding template file will be auto-generated. You can see that here. Now you can manually also edit this template file, or you can change something in the visual editor. So you can play with this. Once your design is ready, you can directly click this button to create the stack, which will be based on this design. Though it looks simple, but you still need a lot of skill to get used to this particular tool. So whenever you talk about infrastructure automation, CloudFormation has this unique position. You can use this CloudFormation template with DevOps tools such as Jenkins, Chef, Puppet, etc., so that the whole infrastructure stack gets created automatically by using those DevOps tools. So go on, use the CloudFormation. It's free for use, but you will be charged for the resources that you create. So be also careful about that. But still go and play with the CloudFormation. Understand how the templates are written. Go to AWS documentation and download various templates. Just Google with AWS CloudFormation template download, and you'll find the link of AWS documentation. Based on what region you are in, select those templates. So that's all we have in CloudFormation. If you got any doubt, any query, put it into our discussion box and we'll get back to you. So see you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.